All right, so when you have a function, it looks like f of x equals 5 minus 3x, or g of x equals 7x plus 3 divided by 2. Okay, it looks like this f of x and this g of x when you're given a function. Okay, now you have to know that when they give you two functions, you have to make sure you're using the correct function for each problem. So like for example, A, it says f of 10. So you're probably going to use the f function. Okay, now remember when it's inside the parentheses, like 10 is inside, so we're going to plug it in for x and solve. So we have 5 minus 3 times 10. And then it's just orders of operations, PEMDAS. Okay, we multiply or divide first, so we get 5 minus 30, and then we can subtract. 5 minus 30 is negative 25 for our first answer. Letter B, okay, same idea. We're given an input, so we're going to put it in for x and solve. So we have 5 minus 3 times a negative 3. Okay, make sure you know it's being multiplied and not subtracted. Okay, so we get 5 plus 9, because negative 3 times a negative 3 is a positive 9. So we get a positive 14 for our answer. Okay, now C is different. Notice that negative 23 is not inside the parentheses. So that's our output. So we're going to put it on the outside of our function and solve. Okay, notice that I have an equal sign now. Okay, then that's when we're going to do our two-step equations. Okay, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides, so I get negative 28 equals negative 3x. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, and x is approximately 9.3. Okay, now for D, E, and F, notice that they're g of x, so I'm going to use my g function. Okay, I'm given an input, so I'm going to put it in for x. So I have 7 times negative 2 plus 3 divided by 2. Okay, I would multiply the top first. Okay, so we have negative 14 plus 3 divided by 2. I would make sure I keep my, I do my numerator first, so I have negative 14 plus 3. So I get negative 11 divided by 2. You can leave that as your final answer, or if you found the decimal, that's fine too. Okay, so for E, we have 7 times 5 plus 3 divided by 2. Okay, so 7 times 5, we get 35 plus 3 over 2. And then we get 38 over 2, which reduces to 19. Okay, now f, again, is an output, so we're going to put it on the outside of our function. This one was a challenge. That's a challenge problem, okay? So it's fine if you did not get the same answer, okay? But please make sure you follow along. Okay, now it kind of goes against everything that we usually do. We're actually going to multiply by 2 first because we want to get rid of that denominator. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. So we get 76 equals 7x plus 3. And then it's just a two-step equation. Okay, we get minus 3 on both sides to get 73 equals 7x. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. So x ends up being 10.4. Okay, so that one was a challenge. It's fine if you didn't get it. Okay, but for those of you who are finding this a little easier, okay, to kind of take it to the next level by understanding what's going on in this one. All right, then let's go down to some absolute value problems. Okay, and these are kind of the hard ones because we haven't really talked about them in class. So make sure you're paying extra close attention because like all the other ones, you will see these on the test. Remember, absolute value is how far a number is from 0, okay? So for the first one, I kind of treat absolute value like parentheses, where you want to do the stuff on the inside first and then do the absolute value, okay? So 3 plus a -5, that's actually -2 inside there. And then how far away from 0 is -2? Well, -2 is 2 units away from 0, so my answer is just 2. Okay, now notice this one, we have a negative on the outside of our absolute value. Okay, so just kind of keep an extra eye on that. But let's do -18 divided by 3. Okay, so then on the inside I get -6. Well, how far away is -6 from 0? Well, -6 is 6 units away from 0. But we got to bring down that negative sign, so we actually get a -6 for B. Okay, and then C is very similar to letter A, okay, where we're going to do the inside first. So we get -13 on the inside. And how far away is -13 from 0? Well, 13 units. Okay, because remember, distance is always positive, okay? Always, always, always positive. Okay, we ended up with a negative answer because our negative was on the outside of our absolute value for B. D might be a little trickier because we have 2 absolute values, but do the inside parts first. So try and do the inside. Okay, so we have -5, and then how many units is -3 away from 0? Well, it's 3. Okay, and then I would perform this operation. Okay, so we get -125 on the inside. And how many units away is -125? Well, it's 125 away from 0. Okay, so for E, this is just some problem solving that we've done, okay, where we're going to do the inside of our square root first. So 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So that should have been your answer for letter E. Okay, and F should have been fairly easy. We should have that one for sure memorized. The square root of 25 is 5. All right, so some more absolute value. All right, so similar to the ones above, we're going to kind of take it step by step, okay? How far away is 3 from 0? Well, it's 3. How far away is 7 from 0? 7. Okay, and so now we have 3 plus 7. Well, 3 plus 7 is 10 on this side. Okay, then over here we have 3 plus 7 on the inside, so we have 10. And how far away is 10 from 0? 10. So this one should have been equal to. Okay, we're going to go down to letter B. Okay, well, -10 is 10 units away from 0. 5 is 5 units away. So 10 divided by 5, we get a positive 2 on that side. Over here, we have no absolute value. So we have -10 divided by 5 to get -2 on that side. And 2 ends up being greater than -2. Make sure you use your calculator if you're not sure what -10 divided by 5 is. So 3 to the -2nd power, we get 1/9. Make sure you're plugging that into your calculator correctly. And how far away is 1/9 from 0? Well, that's 1/9. Over here we get 3 to the 2nd power. Okay, well 3 times 3 we know is 9. And 9 is obviously greater than 1/9. Exponents should be kind of a review for us, so I'm going to kind of go through them quickly. When we divide, we subtract, so 5 minus 3, we get 2. For B, we have the power property, so B to the 24th, B to the 16th. For C, if you want, you can write it all out in expanded form and then add up all your x's. Okay, so we get 6 because 3 times 2, and then x to the 10th because we have 10 x's. Same for D. Okay, we get 10 x to the 11th. And then here we're going to divide 15 and 3 to get 5. And when we divide exponents, we subtract them. So 10 minus 7, we get 3. Okay, remember 3 over here for f has an invisible 1. So we get 3 to the 4th, x to the 20th, because we have to multiply by every exponent. For g, remember we're going to break it apart. We're going to divide 1.2 by 4.6 to get 0.25. And we subtract those exponents to get 7. Now this is not in scientific notation. We have to have at least one number on the other side of our decimal, so we have to move it. And when we move it to the right, we subtract an exponent. Same for over here, we're going to multiply. Okay, so 2.1 times 1.2 to get 2.52. And when we multiply our exponents, we actually add them. So 7 plus 8, we get 15. And this one is in scientific notation. All right, so for 15, you're just plugging these numbers in and solving. Orders of operations, PEMDAS. So for A, we should have gotten 6. D, over here, we should have gotten 33. B, 11. E, 272. C, also 11. And F was 7. And then scientific notation, we count how many zeros we have. We stop right here, so we get 5.9736 times 10, a positive 24. And then we are going the other way. We're counting 8 spaces. So you should have 6 zeros on there for your answer. Please make sure you are making a note card with all these examples on here, because you will see at least one of all of these tomorrow.